Kia ora Rotorua, welcome to City News. Just ahead in your Tuesday night bulletin, the Bay of Plenty Regional Council is to construct barriers at their Tutumu Cut groin at Maketu. Salvation Army Food Bank drive going well, but support is still needed. And New Zealand Canoe Sprint Championships held at Lake Tikitapu showcase our world champ prospects. Those stories and more tonight on City News. The Bay of Plenty Regional Council has decided to erect barriers at their Tutumu Cut groin structure at Maketu. The popular fishing spot was closed last month after a Rotorua woman died when she fell and hit her head while fishing. The erection of the barriers are designed to make the area safer for recreational use. Bay of Plenty Regional Councillor Raywin Bennett says the council had considered various options for the groin. Ms Bennett says the area was never meant for recreational use, such as fishing, but the popularity of the area has meant the council needs to make it safe. She says while council will be changing the groin into a recreational area, it is not a large space and people who wish to use it would need to be considerate of others using the space also. A number of details need to be worked through before the work begins. Signs and a barrier remain in place at the groin to close the site and to inform the public of when the work will start, which is expected to be within the next few months. Initiatives aimed at reducing the number of Rotorua youths involved in fatal crashes are being planned for the city this year. Police are working with the Rotorua District Council to provide a program to help young drivers develop essential skills and knowledge to be safe and confident drivers. Sergeant Andrew Lynch of the Rotorua Police says Rotorua youth are overrepresented in the region's crash statistics. Residents aged between 14 and 24 make up 14.5% of the city's population, and in 2008 were involved in 37% of all fatal crashes and 38% of all serious crashes. In 2010 there were 15 fatalities on Rotorua's roads, and 6 of those who died were aged between 14 and 24. A 12-year-old was also included in the list of 15. Mr Lynch says studies showed that young drivers underestimate risk, tend to drive in high-risk situations and incorrectly perceived hazards. She says the fatalities weren't necessarily linked to boy racer incidents, but legalisation, which came into effect in December 2009, gave police greater powers to deal with boy racers and youth-related driving incidents. A date for the skills program is to be finalised. A Young Drivers Expo is also planned for later in the year. The month-long drive to replenish the Salvation Army Food Bank shelves has been receiving amazing support. The Daily Post run appeal has included the support of local businesses and sports organisations. The Manager of Community Services for the Salvation Army in Rotorua, Graham Stark, says he's impressed with the efforts people have put into the drive.
With the food bank, we're giving, we give out food to people that are in desperate need and real need. They are questioned, and we try to do it in a way where they're not humiliated, but we have to make sure that they are going to the right people. And the food drive is that we get a considerable amount of cans at different times, and that's all great, but we need, the drive is more for the likes of breakfast cereals and the more perishable items that we would have to purchase, and basically we just don't have the money for it.
The food bank appeal runs until the 1st of March, and donations can be dropped off to the Daily Post offices and the Salvation Army Community House. Rotorua District Council is conducting its second round of Rugby World Cup volunteer interviews at the International Stadium tomorrow and Thursday. Events and Venues Event Coordinator Amanda Honick says hundreds of volunteers are required to ensure Rotorua's events are run smoothly. Ms Honick says volunteers will play an integral role in the success of the city's Rugby World Cup festivities and are keen to have the community on board. She says for many people this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be involved in an event of such magnitude. Positions that still need to be filled include roles in accreditation, catering, city operations, sport production, ticketing, tourist information, transport, VIP, workforce and spectator services. Interviews are being conducted at the Rotorua International Stadium tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Thursday the 24th of February from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. and from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. For more information on becoming a Rugby World Cup volunteer and details about application criteria, contact Amanda Honick at Events and Venues. In sport tonight, the 2011 Oceania Canoe Sprint Championships and New Zealand Canoe Sprint Championships held at Lake Tikitapu over the weekend are being hailed a great success. The sun shone down for the 3 days of racing, which saw the best New Zealand paddlers pitted against strong competition from Australia, Samoa and the Cook Islands. Paddlers across the age groups competed from the under-13 group right through to the over-45 masters, including the elite national squad athletes in K1, K2 and K4 boats. Business Manager for Canoe Racing New Zealand, Karen Simpson, says members of New Zealand's high-performance squad took out most of the major races, but will still need to take part in trials next month to secure their place. Ms Simpson says that once the squad is selected, it's off to the World Cup Regatta and the World Champs in Europe. She says, judging by the time set at the weekend's champs, New Zealand will do well in Europe. Into the weather tonight for Rotorua and the surrounding area. Cloud increasing, some drizzle, northwesterly winds, a low of 16. Tomorrow, Wednesday, early shower, then fine. Southerlies, a high of 24 and a low of 15. Long range for Thursday, fine southwesterlies, a high of 22 and a low of 12. Marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday. Southwest 5 knots becoming variable in the afternoon. Low waves, patchy rain easing to isolated showers in the afternoon. Still to come tonight, we look at the wonderful Powerbox art project with Kiri Jarden and Jacinta Wilcox. Rotorua weatherman Brian Holden tells us about some of the reasons behind the hot February weather, and I talk with Cheryl Jensen from Arthritis New Zealand. That's coming up in City News when we return right after this break.